Do you ever have those moments of doubt where you're just about ready to throw in the towel? You're having a tough time sleeping at night. You're worried about making ends meet. Maybe you are having a tough time making payroll and you're like, how am I going to make this all work? Well, welcome to the world of running a business. Uriel came here. Welcome back to another episode of #winning. This is all about helping you win in life, helping you win in business. And let's be honest, not everyone does, right? Statistically, most businesses do not win. And that's not because of the business, it's because of the leader of the business. Let's just be honest, okay? So if you've ever been in a situation where you are waking up in the middle of the night, you're worrying about stuff, you're riddled with anxiety, you look at your bank account, you're like, how am I gonna do this? You're like, I gotta take out a line of credit just to survive. I'm down to my last couple $100. Welcome to the world of entrepreneurship. And I've been there many, many times. And honestly, it's not that it ever disappears, it just changes. So as an example, when I started my first business online in 2005, I spent 3 years at poverty line income, and that was shit. But as we've grown Healthpreneur to multiple 8 figures, it's not like it's just peaches and roses. The difference is that the bets are bigger. So for instance, when you have, I remember my first assistant, this was probably about 4 years after I started my first business. I was paying her about $1,500 per month, okay, at that time, relative to where the business was. And, that was tight, right? But when your business grows, so let's just say as an example, that was 30% of my revenue, right, going to payroll, that number just changes over time. So it's not like, it's not $1,500 when you have a multi-figure business, it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but percentage-wise, it's about the same. It can be the same, or it can be a lot more, right? When you're running ads and you're making $5,000 a month and your ad spend is $500, okay, cool. But when you're making $500,000 or $5 million a month, that ad spend also increases monetarily, percentage-wise, can also be, roughly the same. So I share this with you because even as you grow, there are still many moments where you might feel, quote unquote, broke, where you might feel like things are tight. That's just because the bets are bigger. So it's not like you escape all the problems as your business grows. They simply change, but you get better and stronger at handling them. The example I give quite often is just like lifting weights. So you start off, doing bicep curls, 10 pounds, no problem, right? You eventually get to 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, whatever you're able to do in a bicep curl. But here's the thing. Let's say you do 40-pound bicep curls, right? You're doing 3 sets of 8, cool. And you do that over and over and over again, several times a week for months on end. 40 pounds after a couple of weeks no longer feels that heavy. What changed? You did, right? Your biceps have become stronger to handle that same load. So now you're ready for the next challenge, which again feels a little bit more challenging because it is, right? 40 to 45 pounds or 50 feels more challenging. But once again, you could lift it once and be like, oh my God, I can't do this. Or you just keep working through it until your biceps are strong to handle 50 pounds. And the same in business. Is the beautiful part about business is it's this amazing journey to help us grow. I often say your business will grow to the extent that you do. And your growth precedes, your personal growth precedes business growth. So an analogy I like to use is imagine you're a tugboat and think of a tugboat pulling a cruise ship, right? Because that's, tugboats will pull in cruise ships into the harbor sometimes. So if you're a tugboat, and I'll just use revenue as an example, and you've been stuck at $5K per month for years, let's just say that that's where the business is, i.e. that's where you are. So you have you're the tugboat, and you can maybe pull a little boat, right? The 5K business. That's all you have the power, capacity, strength to pull. Now, what happens is as you develop yourself, this is why investing in yourself and your skills is the most important thing you can do. You will never learn, you will never lose by doing so. And in you investing in yourself, your skills, the ability to get out of your comfort zone, have hard conversations, take calculated risks, all that kind of stuff, you grow as a person. And you grow that business from 5K per month to 20K per month to 50K per month to 100K per month. And let's say that you're at $100,000 per month in revenue. That's the business. But you are a bigger tugboat. That's the only way it happens. So you as a tugboat, you become more powerful. You have more horsepower. As a result, instead of being able to pull a little boat, you can now pull a bigger ship. So the ship that you're able to pull, i.e. the size of the business you're able to build, is 100% dependent on you as the tugboat, how much power you have. So that's why all business growth follows personal growth. And so when you're going through moments of challenge where you have these moments where you want to throw in the towel, you don't know how you're going to get out, those are the moments you have to keep pushing. You have to figure things out, because you'll look back on those moments as the most important catalysts to becoming more of who you're meant to be. And this journey of business and life, to be honest, is not about becoming who you're meant to be. It's more about revealing who you already are at your core. But we have to remove the layers of bullshit to flourish. When you are very, very young, maybe even before you even realize or remember, you probably have these aspirations and beliefs that anything was possible in the world. And then our parents got in the way, conditioning got in the way, and we started to adopt all these beliefs from other people that don't really serve us. And that becomes our blueprint for how we live life. And unfortunately, it really doesn't serve most people, right? Because what most people have been led to believe is that money doesn't grow on trees, get a safe job with a big company, go to school for the rest of your life so you're safe. That whole story is bullshit, right? For 95% of the population, that's how they live. And that's why 95% of the population is broke and fucking miserable. But you're watching this because you know you can have more in life. You know you're capable of more. And that means doing things differently than everyone else. So when you have these moments where you're going through a lot of challenge, I completely empathize and have compassion for what you're going through. I know. I've been there hundreds of times, and it's debilitating and paralyzing at points. And the one thing that's helped me get through a lot of that is this belief that I am always supported. The universe has my back. Everything is always working out for me. And I'll give this analogy to you as well. I've shared this before. So if you look at the ocean behind me, okay, this is the Pacific Ocean. If we're all, so all of us humans, we're all on this amazing planet, and we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, okay? Regardless of your religious belief, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say, I think we're all on the same wavelength here, hopefully. If that one consciousness, as an example, is the ocean, and each one of us is a drop of water from that ocean, then how can we be any different from the ocean? If that ocean is all-knowing, all-powerful, etc., then if we're a drop of water from that ocean, then we also have to have those same character traits, those same kind of that same DNA, if you will. And so that's one way of reminding yourself of how powerful you are. The other thing to consider is that if you were created in the image of the creator, right? God, higher power, whatever, then think about it from this perspective. If you're a parent, would you do whatever you possibly could to protect your kids? 100%, right? So if we are the children of God, higher power, whatever, then wouldn't that higher power do the same for us? So when I say I'm always protected, the universe has my back, everything's always working out for me, I lean into that faith to move through challenging times. Because when I look back after things have happened, everything always works out perfectly, all the time. And the thing is, everything is happening for you, not to you. And everything is happening exactly as it's meant to be. Because if it was meant to be different, it would have been, but it's not. So if we can come to terms with that acceptance, and not to say I'm hopeless, I can't do anything in my life, but accepting what is, then it's going to allow us to move through life, the goods and the challenges, with more grace. So when you are going through those moments where you're I don't know how I'm going to make this work. I know it's crazy, right? How on earth, I don't know how to explain this other than the fact that you just have to know that it will work, because it always does. And so I've got 4 boys, and as a parent, I will do anything to protect them. But what I don't do is I don't remove struggle from their life, because struggle creates strength. I want my kids to struggle. They live a very blessed life. I want them to experience a tremendous amount of challenge, because that challenge will create incredible resilience and character in them. If I did everything for them, and if I rescued them all the time, I would be crippling them. And very much the same is happening for you. You are a child of this bigger power. And that bigger power, God, universe, wants the best for you, but it's not going to come in and save the day all the time. This is my belief, at least. We are here to grow. We are here to be challenged, to strengthen, our spirit, our, whatever the lessons we need to learn here. And all of it is meant to help us get better. So it doesn't mean that we're not supported. It's just like supported sometimes might be like, hey, I know you're struggling right now, but the best thing I can do as a parent is to let you figure this out. I know it's hard, and I know you want your soothie and your blankie and for me to cuddle you, but that's not going to help you here. And so I lean into that a lot when I'm going through these moments where I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this, but I just know that this is all going to be okay and everything's going to be fine. The universe has my back. And honestly, even if all of this is bullshit, who cares? You have to find the story that you actually believe in. So if everything I just mentioned to you is 100% garbage, I don't care. The power of the placebo, the power of the mind, whatever story you need to tell yourself to sleep better at night, to feel you feel supported, tell it, right? You have to have something to rely on. You have to have something that's going to be your North Star when it comes to faith. Because if you don't have faith, you're fucked, right? You have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in why we're all here. Faith in the fact that what you're doing is meant for a bigger reason. And yet at the end of the day, we're just like a speck of dust in this bigger universe, right? So it's just a really interesting journey to go through. And I just want to acknowledge you for continuing to put in the work and continue to keep going, because no matter how big or small your business is, it matters. It does matter. And you have a purpose, it doesn't mean you have to send rockets to Mars. Like, that's cool if you want to, but even if you just want to help people improve their health, I'm not saying that's a huge thing. You're here for a reason. And the worst thing that can possibly happen is giving up, because the people who need your help don't even know you exist yet. And so when you're going through hardships, you can think about it from yourself. You can think about, I've got to pay the bills, take care of my family, for sure. Also, think about different levels, the people that would lose out because you decided to stop doing your life's work. So I hope this message resonates with you, that it lands, that something in what I mentioned you can find useful in your journey. And just understand that what you're going through right now is totally okay. It's supposed to be, right? Because if it wasn't, it would have been different. And this won't be the last time. There will be many, many more ahead of you. But the best part about this is that you're getting stronger, so those future challenges will feel a little bit easier. So what should you focus on to make 2025 your best year yet? It's that time of year. Everyone's thinking about New Year's resolutions, how things can be different than they were in the previous year. And a client of mine was asking me recently, Yuri, what do you focus on? Like, what do you recommend I focus on to, achieve my goals this year?